Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Friends Talking Nerdy. This is Tim Jousma, and with me in the driver's seat is Professor Aubrey.
Hello!
We are off to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz at the Hollywood Theater today. I am so excited.
I'm also very excited.
Yes, reason I'm excited is that this is a movie that I get to cross off my movie bucket list.
Yeah, I don't really have a movie bucket list. I was thinking about this, and I don't know that there are any movies that I haven't seen, like Singing in the Rain I've seen on the big screen, Gone with the Wind, I've seen Wizard of Oz before, but yeah, I can't think of a one that I wouldn't want to see, that I'm desperate to see on the big screen.
Debbie Does Dallas. No. Anyway, bad joke, Tim. I've got a few. I mean, thanks to Portland being Portland, my list has gone down considerably. I think it was the end of 2018. I finally got to see Die Hard on the big screen, which was awesome. Saw the first Terminator, but I really want to see Terminator 2 on the big screen. That would be amazing. I guess my other ones would be like the first Michael Keaton Batman from '89. I'd love to see that on the big screen. Also, of course, I've said it many times, Superman the movie, the first one with Christopher Reeve there. I think I would put Goldfinger on the list. I would love to see an original Sean Connery movie on the big screen.
I think that I've seen both Goldfinger and the one that you mentioned previous to Goldfinger.
Which one? I forgot.
Oh, no, I forgot too. Oh, God.
Okay, so yeah, if you're listening at home, the one I mentioned previously is the one she's seen on the big screen as well.
Oh, Superman, the original Superman. I saw on the big screen when it came out originally.
Gotcha, 1978. So you may have seen it a couple years afterwards as well, because this was also the era where home video was just beginning. So they would routinely re-release movies, very popular movies, every couple of years like that, until home movies made a big deal.
I think you're totally right, because I think it was matinees as well. And I remember in the summertime, theaters used to run matinee every day in the summertime for kids to go to the movies, and so they would play like older movies, but they were oriented toward kids.
Yeah, so and I miss those days too, but I don't know. I mean, the movies as we know it are going to change dramatically here real quick. So yeah, if you got a great movie theater, definitely enjoy it. But we are on our way to the lovely Hollywood Theater to watch this. I hope it is in their main theater. The Hollywood was built around the 1920s, one of the original Hollywood showcases. I believe it used to be owned by, I think it used to be a Paramount movie theater, because Paramount Pictures used to own movie theaters back in the 20s, but there was a big court case stating that movie studios could not own movie
vertical integration.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, they had to sell a bunch of them off. It was either that, or it may have been the Arlene Schnitzer concert hall downtown. I think that may have been it actually.
That was a very large theater for it to be a movie theater.
But that's the thing, though. Movie theaters were also doubled as concert stages. Back in the day, you would have live acts that would occasionally come and play movie theaters, because, there were a decent amount of movies that came out every single year, of course, obviously, but other people wanted other forms of entertainment at that time. Obviously there were no mobile devices. They couldn't get a tablet and watch a movie or something.
Well, so movies kind of replaced traveling vaudeville acts.
Exactly, yeah.
And traveling vaudeville acts were much more democratic in that, were much more, employed many more people in many higher paid roles, because they were traveling musicians and entertainers. And that was a viable life way for people. Like, now it's not. Like, there's not there are so few opportunities for musicians to be employed as musicians, and for theater performers, actors, circus performers, whoever. There's just a lot less opportunities for people with those talents, and that's a shame, because there are lots and lots of people with those talents that are doing things that they're not necessarily great at.
Yeah, I mean, the big problem there is major corporations want you to produce all of this material, but they don't want to pay you for it. It's the reason why for a while I was a freelance writer and writing for a website that, catered to 1 million readers per month at least, and I got paid $200 a month. And that is not unheard of. I probably got lucky, let's put it that way, that I got that.
You got a paid gig at all.
Yes. And for anybody in the arts period, there's a lot more scrambling to be able to get that money, and when it comes to that, there has to be a breaking point at some point, because you can't expect people to work for free while you make billions of dollars off their work.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of slavery akin to the gladiators, almost. This idea that you have a social cachet, like we as a society pretend like we value what you do, and you get certain privileges, but you're really tied to the system. Like, you can't produce your work and express yourself the way that you want to and still make any money at it at all.
Yeah, I mean, to get any sort of notice, you need distribution of some sort. And to get distribution of some sort, unless you are very, very, very lucky, you have to work with somebody else to get that. And that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, but that's a different story for a different day. We are talking about the Wizard...
Well, speaking of the Wizard of Oz, though, so how this all ties into the Wizard of Oz is, when you think about Judy Garland's life, she was one of the actors that was caught up in the studio machine that was the way that movies got made when movies were first became popular. And that was that the studio controlled everything about the production of the films, including everything about the talent. And so in that way, it was vertically integrated. Like, studios would have a stable of actors and actresses with which they had exclusive rights to work. So those actors and actresses could only work in the work that was supplied by the studio. And so Judy Garland was part of that generation of people who got involved with exclusive contracts with studios very early in her life, and that sort of prevented her from being able to do what she wanted to and express herself the way that she would have chosen, right? And ultimately, tragically, led to her death.
A very, very good connection. I forgot about that, so thank you for making sure I didn't gloss over that. But yeah, and that's the thing. Looking at the Wizard of Oz too, you do kind of grit your teeth, because you realize, they wanted her to be younger than she was, so she had to wear a corset that essentially squished her boobs down.
Yeah.
And I believe they made her take diet pills, which diet pills at the time were probably...
Speed. It's just speed.
Yeah, just something that would not be legal today. They probably gave her. Because, I remember an interview with, Mickey Rooney where he talked about, they would take pills. They would be given pills to wake up. They would be given pills to go to bed, and told when those times were going to happen, so...
Yeah, it was really, tragic existence for people who are now seen as icons in their crafts, and whose lives were generally cut short. Andy Rooney being a notable example.
Mickey Rooney. Yeah. Now, the highway we are going under that they are building, is this the one that you are currently fighting?
No, this is actually a pedestrian and transit bridge. Only. So that is a bridge for people to get, bikers and walkers to go from one side of I-84 in Portland to the other side of I-84 in Portland. So that is not part of the I-5 widening project that I'm interested in having them reconsider.
Nice. Yes, I know you were, chairman of the board, president of that committee?
President of that board of directors, yeah.
There you go. All right. So with that, I think we are slowly getting to the Hollywood Theater. Despite all the depressing stuff we've seen about The Wizard of Oz, that was a movie that she was definitely proud of. She obviously, I mean, she wouldn't have sung those songs over the years, if she didn't have some form of personal connection with it, But it's something to keep in mind as well, because you got to keep in mind the torture she went through to make that wonderful film, so that future generations don't have to go through that, I guess,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important that's how we can, best remember her, I think, is to try not to let what happened to her happen to other people.
Yeah, but by all means see her work, because she was also proud of that work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I see a lot of connection with Britney Spears, what's going on with Britney Spears right now, and just that, Britney ought to be in charge of her own life. Like, she's old enough now, and she seems settled enough now to be in charge of her own life. And I think that we'll look back on what happened to Britney in the same way that we look back on what happened to our little Dorothy.
Yes, so with that, I think we will bring you all at home to a quick musical interlude. When we return, the movie will be finished, and we will give you our thoughts about the overall experience. Obviously, we're big fans of the film, so it's not going to be a typical type of review from us. I don't think either one of us is going to say anything really negative about it, but just the overall experience, because, this is my first time back going to the Hollywood since the pandemic, and I'm pretty excited to be able to see such a classic movie.
Yeah, me too. It's my first time going back to the Hollywood in a really long time, and I'm really happy to be going with you to see this really great movie.
Yes, off my bucket list. And I think what I will do with the bucket list, I am probably going to make that a segment in a show or two coming forward here, so be prepared for that. But anyway, on to the musical interlude. Hey everybody, we're keeping it kind of quiet here. The movie has not started yet, but we are in our seats in the #1 theater at the Hollywood. First time you've been here?
It's the first time I've been in this theater, that's correct. It is beautiful in here. We're feeling the gorgeous movie energy from the golden age of movies.
Yes, I love the ornaments on the side that make it look like it's like private booths to watch. Maybe they were at one point, but they boxed them out or something, but excuse me, I don't know. Just overall, I've always loved the atmosphere in this theater.
Yeah, it feels very good and sort of ghosty in here.
And also the seats.
The seats are comfy. Mm-hmm.
They are definitely comfy compared to some of the corporate theaters that are out there. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to give you a little bit of an update here. The movie's going to be starting here in about 10 minutes time. So you also ended up spotting a name of somebody on the advertisements.
I did, yeah. I have a couple of friends who donate to the Hollywood, so their name gets flashed on the screen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the movie again is going to start here in a couple minutes. We just wanted to check in, but just overall, good experience so far.
Wonderful. We had some pizza that was delicious from Sizzle Pie, and I'm enjoying a draft ginger ale as we speak.
Nice, and I'm enjoying a draft.
A draft of beer.
Of beer, yes. Yeah. So, all right. So with that, we will kick you back to some more musical interlude, and then we will talk to you when the movie's done.
Yeah, see you soon.
right, welcome back. As you can hear with the ambient noise in the background, we are on the highway. We are heading back home. We have completed our journey to see The Wizard of Oz. What did you think?
I loved it. I loved it just as much as I always do, and it was wonderful to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, it definitely was awesome to see it on the big screen. I mean, the Hollywood experience overall, I really loved. I love the new, they had a little preview video of the movies they're showing at the Hollywood in July, and they included the theme song of 2001: A Space Odyssey. And the first thing I did to you was turn to you and go, "Ric Flair, woo!"
Yes, you did, and I didn't understand.
Yeah, that's the theme song he uses.
He uses 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, the movie was definitely a blast. I loved the movie beforehand, but what I came to appreciate most of all seeing it on the big screen was the work that went into like the matte paintings and the rear projection. For what they were able to pull off in the 30s, that is amazing. It
was. I was really noticing that a lot with the the tornado scenes. Also that and the just really good acting. Like, I think it depended more on acting back then to make things come alive, because they didn't have the same kind of computer-generated animation and graphics that we have today. So, like, that one scene where Dorothy is walking across the yard onto the porch at Auntie M's house when the cyclone is already there. Just Judy Garland's acting... You just feel her panic, and you feel the electricity in the air, and it's just really impressive to take something that old and still be entertained by it, and still have it still be believable.
Yeah, and that's, you can't really judge which ones are going to grab the hearts of people. I mean, by the time that movie came out, The Wizard of Oz had already been around 40 plus years in the 30s, and they were past the 100-year mark now on it. So we're talking stories that are well in the public domain that are still intriguing people, that are still that people are still fall in love with, and just being able to see it on the big screen with a receptive audience. I mean, they clapped at the start and at the end of the movie, which was very appropriate, which I loved when audiences get into the emotion and show things like that. But overall, really good. Good prices, of course. We have
excellent prices, I thought.
Yes, we have a Hollywood Theater membership. They are easy to get your hands on. Because I'm going back to college, I took advantage of the student pass.
That's right, and when you're a member, you get free popcorn every time you go, and you get cheaper tickets, and being a member is cool. Also, we had 2 slices of pizza, 2 beverages, including a delicious beer and a delicious draft ginger ale, plus some chilled junior mints and some popcorn, all for $20.
Very, very good prices, very good staff. There was one person at the concession stand, unfortunately, you didn't notice, was waving you down.
I totally didn't see her.
Yeah. But overall, just I love that theater. Just the ambiance overall. You feel the history in that place. You could imagine like Cary Grant in the audience for a premiere of his movie there.
Yeah, or you could see people coming to see The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I mean, The Wizard of Oz was most definitely shown in that theater. I mean, in first viewing, not one of the, not a showing like this, of course, but just, yeah, if you're in Portland, Hollywood Theater, and if you love movies, Hollywood Theater is definitely one of the many theaters in town that you got to go to. But I know one theater I have not tried yet, the Clinton Street Theater.
I've been to the Clinton Street. I saw the band's
The Last Waltz?
The Last Waltz there. It was really good to see live.
Yeah, and I know they Saturday nights they're the theater in Portland that will play Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they got a group of people that will perform it live as well.
Yes, the Clinton Street Players, I think they're called.
Yes, as mentioned on the show before, when I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show in 2017 at Wizard World Comic Con, the guy who played Brad in the movie, Barry Bostwick. Yes, Barry Bostwick actually hosted the movie with the Clinton Street Players.
Really? That's amazing.
Yes, that was pretty fun. And that was also the time, too, that I found out some of the traditions for first-time watchers of the movie in public. Thankfully, I was not one.
You have to volunteer.
Yeah, because I didn't realize this was a tradition, so I'm glad I didn't know this the first time, and I'm glad they didn't push it the first time. But they have a thing to where new people have to get up, and one person like lies on the ground, kind of like spread eagle or something like that, legs akimbo, and then they put a donut on like the pelvic area of the person, and then another person without their hands has to eat that donut.
So it's like body shots, but with donuts?
Yes, in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it happened at Rose City, Barry Bostwick got paired with a 17-year-old girl.
I'm sure he loved that.
He ate the donut.
Of course he did.
Anyway.
There's ethics, and then there's donuts on 17-year-olds' tummies.
Yeah. I would not be that hungry.
That's gross.
Yeah. Anyway, great experience. I'm glad I got to cross another one off the movie bucket list.
Yes, congratulations. Your bucket list grows ever shorter.
Yes, like I said before, I mean, if I think about it, like Terminator 2, Superman, Batman 89, I'm sure there may be a few others, but not many. Maybe Citizen Kane. I'd love to see Citizen Kane on the big screen.
It would be good to see Rosebud on the big screen.
Yeah, always been a big Orson Welles fan. But anyway, I think we'll wrap it up here since we are just approaching our highway exit. So anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, just if you get a chance, patronize your local theater if it's safe to do so and you feel comfortable.
Most importantly, yeah. And if anything, too, treat the people that are working there with a little bit of respect. Folks in food service, the service industries, retail industries are dealing with a lot of horrible people right now. As a survivor of the retail industry, I can tell you it can really wear you down mentally big time. So if you are out in public, just thank somebody, smile. You don't have to be performative or anything, but just show a little bit of kindness, because kindness goes a long way sometimes.
Yes, it does.
All right, so with that, thank you all for listening every Wednesday and Saturday. In this podcast space, you will hear something to entertain your ear holes. With that, we bid you adieu.
Good afternoon.
Subscribe to Friends Talking Nerdy on iTunes, the Google Play Music Store, as well as Spotify. Remember to support Friends Talking Nerdy on Patreon. Goodbye, darling.